Please give it up for Norm Leonard.
Can we all agree that Dolly Parton is a national treasure? I agree. However, there's a caveat for me. If she were to sing God Bless the USA, I would be compelled to punch her in the face. I'm not making a political statement here. I love country music. I love the United States. I hate that frickin' song. Okay, it's a visceral reaction for me. If you like it, I'm not trying to change your mind. It's important for you to know where my head was at when my wife dragged me to a community 4th of July fireworks show. I'd had a depression. Things were dark. I'd not laughed in a good long while, and she thought this would be good for me. And we get there, and there's a live band, and I love live music. And they put a 12-year-old boy on stage, and he sings, God Bless the USA. And I want to punch this little bastard in the face. Speaking of faces, when I'm in this sort of mood, my wife usually says something like, "What's wrong, you're making the face?" Because apparently I make a face. I don't know what this face looks like because when I'm making the face, generally speaking, I'm blinded by my own self-loathing and contempt for humanity. She does not say, "What's wrong, you're making the face," in this event, though. She says, "Why don't you go scout out the taco trucks with Adam?" And there's a lot of subtext there, and let me just sum it up for you. It's, why don't you take your rage and resentment for a walk away from all these innocent women and children? So Adam and I head out towards the taco trucks. Adam's family friend, I love him, but he's one of these guys who puts friendship above morality. Like if I actually punched Dolly Parton in the face, he would kick her on the ribs before she hit the ground. Like, he's a great guy to have by your side in a gang fight, but if you're going through a depression, you know. We get to the taco trucks, we order, we go to the salsa bar. And I'm starting to get my salsa, and over my shoulder I see this guy, and his hands are just stacked with food. He's got easily $100 worth of Mexican food. He's got a really well-groomed beard, a white linen shirt, a braided leather belt, khaki shorts, boat shoes, no socks. He looks like a Ralph Lauren model, except he has gigantic eyebrows. Like aggressively bushy eyebrows. Like these eyebrows are sentient. Like Jim Henson looked at these eyebrows and was like, "I'm gonna make so many more Muppets modeled after this guy." And as I'm unfairly judging his eyebrows, I realize that God Bless the USA is still playing. And I have all these negative emotions. And I've been really working hard to kind of combat the negative emotions. So I think I'm gonna do a good deed. I said to this guy, "Hey, your hands are full. Let me get your salsa for you." And he's like, "Yeah, great, we'll take red." So I grabbed this tube of salsa, and it's the biggest tube of salsa I've ever seen in my life. It's like the size of a bowling pin. I pick it up, I put it over the little plastic cup, and I squeeze, and nothing comes out. It's clogged. Like a tomato, an onion, something, right? So I shake it up, I go again, still clogged. And then I can feel this guy's eyebrows over my shoulder. And I turn and look at him, and his eyebrows, they're so passive aggressive, and they're like cocked. And it's just making me so, like, it's giving me so much anxiety, right? Now, what happens next? I should say, I would never hit Dolly Parton in the face, right? I'm a writer, and exaggeration, hyperboles, tools of the trade. But what I'm gonna tell you right now is complete nonfiction. Like, it has the journalistic integrity of NPR, okay? And I don't know what it was. I think I was looking at him and I was like, maybe that's his face. Maybe he's making his version of the face, right? And I'm trying to, like, again, talk myself into not so much negative emotion. But then I think, well, you're not responsible for him. You can't control him and his emotions. You can't control his depression, his face. As it turns out, I also can't control salsa. Because I squeezed that bottle of salsa, and what came out was a fire hose level intensity of salsa. Like, imagine a mariachi band on cocaine. That was the sort of violent reaction that came out of this salsa. It ricocheted out of this plastic cup and drenched this guy from head to crotch. It was in his beard. It was on his white linen shirt, his braided leather belt. I completely ruined his $100 worth of Mexican food. There was a red onion hanging off the lip of his eyebrows, like it was ready to commit suicide. And I just said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, my good deed backfired. And then he still had that passive-aggressive eyebrow cocked, and he goes, yup, it sure did. And then that red onion fell off of his eyebrow. I grab some napkins and I start wiping this guy down. And these napkins had the absorbent integrity of cotton candy. They just dissolved. And I'm wiping this guy down, and as I'm wiping him down, it's a linen shirt, right? I can see the outline of his nipple. I'm giving this guy a non-consensual nipple massage. I have been married like over 20 years. My wife is here. In that 20 years, and well before that 20 years, I have sensually touched exactly 4 nipples. 2 belong to my wife. The other 2 belong to this guy and his eyebrows. As I remove my hands from his nipples, we make eye contact. And it's the most awkward thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. And I immediately pivot to fake like I'm looking for more crappy napkins. My buddy Adam's there, and he's putting lids on his salsa. And he's not acknowledged any of this. And I think I want him to say, hey, it's no big deal, that guy's being a baby, it's, no one saw that. That's what I want him to say. But what he actually says is what I needed him to say. I said, did you see that? He said, everyone saw it. He said, you lit that motherfucker up. And I started laughing for the first time in weeks. And it was a very layered laugh. Like, it was layered with weeks of depression, the shame of baptizing this poor guy with a Mexican condiment, making the face at my poor wife, right? I couldn't breathe, I was laughing so hard. And Adam just kept laughing at me, and he doesn't really laugh, he kind of grunts, he just kind of went, huh, right? And I'm thinking, I should offer to pay for this guy's dry cleaning, I should buy him all this food, but I literally cannot stop laughing. And he just sort of disappears into the crowd. And you could see the way he went, because there was this trail of salsa behind him. And Adam and I get our food, and I'm still laughing, and we're walking back to our family. And Adam says, you know what's really funny? He's gonna have to explain that to his family. And over the next few days, and again, nonfiction, I would go into bursts of laughter for the next few days. It was glorious. Because I would think, he's never gonna smell an onion. He's never gonna see a firework. He's never gonna taste cilantro and tomato. He's never gonna hear God Bless the USA. He's never gonna feel someone sensually touch his nipples without seeing this face. Thank you.
Yes! I'd say TMI, but that was not TMI. That was just the right amount of I.